Grand Belial's Key, otherwise known as Granburger's King, due to Kaz Grant being a fat ass. This is a band that I feel is very integral to black metal as a whole, you know? You have this iconic photo of the band showing that they want to be Mayhem, but they're not edgy enough. Although they're edgy in other ways, which I will definitely cover with today's video. This is basically a collection video, along with being a breakdown of each album, and we'll go over the physical releases. I have almost everything. I'm missing Kosher Rat on vinyl, and I'm missing Mocking the Philanthropist on CD, but otherwise everything else is here. So I want to start with the earliest material, and then we'll work our way to Cohanic Charmers, their final release, which maybe, I mean, they might come back, but I'm assuming probably not. So this is a band that is infamous in ways that you may already be aware of from the Metal Threat Festival last year, or just their past controversies. But I want to focus on something that people don't talk about, and it's in this little booklet here that comes with the gatefold for Triumph of the Hordes and Goat of 1,000 Young. There are two demos. And this is something you probably didn't know, so I'm going to just read it straight from the pamphlet here. Belial attributes the unique fusion of melodies and hostility that GBK is known for to Merciful Fate, a band he credits as the very reason he started writing this kind of music in the first place. So with that being said, we're going to dive into everything now. And I hope you guys like Merciful Fate, because I sure do. I mean, obviously, Don't Break the Oath and 9 are probably the two best releases without much contention. But pretty great band. I mean, I haven't really dug into King Diamond material too much, but I never disliked anything. So here's the inside. Triumph of the Hordes, that's the original cassette artwork with the anvil. And then Goat of 1,000 Young. See if I can get that. Boom. This is a great release. Both of these demos are very different to their material that came afterwards. More akin to your like average garage black metal project. You know, they didn't have a unique sound yet. The way that they're, you know, Galal's riffs, he didn't have that signature dialed in yet. But the release that comes afterwards is probably one of my favorites, and that is A Witness to the Regicide. Yeah, fix that real quick. Witness to the Regicide. This is still unblocked on Discogs, surprisingly. I think this is their only release that you can actually, wearing shorts in a graveyard, dumb. This is the only one that you can still get on Discogs, and I think that's interesting because it's actually just due to the lyrical nature not being anti-Semitic and anti-Islam as the following releases are. But the original pressing was a 7-inch, and it only had 2 songs on it. So everything that's on side B is, well, I guess technically 3 with the intro, but everything on side B was added for this 12-inch release. Just standard black vinyl, so nothing to really show there. Any albums that I don't show you the record itself, just assume it was black, because if not, then I would have just mentioned it's a certain color. But yeah, black vinyl, you know what it looks like. No need to bring it out. Now, this next one. I made a video quite a while ago about the best NSBM album, and I showed this. And I have since learned much more about the genre, or, well, subgenre, and I would no longer hold that title to Mocking the Philanthropist. However, I still love this album. There's a reason. I've bought it twice, so, you know, I still love it, but there's definitely material I would place far above it now. Like that is definitely one of them, but I want to show you this because you probably won't see this on the internet often, if ever, so I'm going to give you guys a moment to really observe. This is the picture disc release. I think it was 2016. Really, really cool. All the artwork for their album covers comes from a 1965 children's book. Um, it's an illustrated children's book about the Bible, and I cannot remember the name, but somebody in the comments will probably. So if you're looking to find where they grabbed all this source material, someone will definitely point you in the right direction. But yeah, awesome. I love it. And this is just going to go on the wall, especially this side. I love that artwork. I don't know what it is about the green and the trees and, you know, the bright colors in the clothing. Just looks great. So yeah, Mocking the Philanthropist, this is where they dialed it in. To me, this is where the band really got serious, and honestly, I think if they stopped here, they still would be very legendary in the US black metal scene, which, you know, contemporaries like Judas Iscariot, Typhus, there's other bands that came along around the same time or much later that I would say is akin to them in their sound, but nobody really does the Graham Belial's Key type of writing. They're very different, and I think, you know, this album has many moments that it displays where they set themselves apart. Even just in the intro track, a foul parody of the Lord's Supper, the way that everything comes to a halt, just to play this kind of weird, goofy little solo. It's almost a little bit cringe, but I really enjoy it. Cringe in a good way, because really, I mean, come on, like if you're a musician, if you're going to be on stage at any point, you're going to have some wince-worthy moments. I mean, even with what I do, I can't watch my old content. So if you're not going to be cringe, then you're no fun at all, in my opinion. But this is the other picture disc. Here you got Jesus riding on the mule, and he's wearing the Star of Remphan, because David did not have a star. And then this side, really freaking cool. This is the original CD artwork, pressed by Wood Nymph Records. I believe they're defunct now. I don't think that's a living label anymore. But yeah, all their artworks, they just do a little bit of Sharpie on, you know, a few characters' faces, and boom, call it an album cover. So this is sweet. I would highly advise checking eBay if you are in search of any of their material. That's kind of your best chance. At least for me, I got lucky, and well, I still had to drop some money, but I got lucky and bought a bulk listing that included this picture disc, Judeo Beast, Witness, and the Triumph / Goat of a Thousand Young demo. So really cool. That dude hooked me up. I really was stoked with that. But yes, Mocking the Philanthropist, probably their most iconic release to date. Um, Very few albums surpass it, although I will tell you one of them coming up. But this is the pressing I showed in my video dedicated to this album. Go check that out if you feel like hearing a little bit more. I think I talked for like 15 minutes on that one, which is a long time for at least YouTube retention spans. Now, next up, I have the album that got me into them, and it was Judeo Beast Assassination. This is the album that is probably the most well known. You gotta love how they did that gold, dude. Looks pretty sweet. That came out great. Very glossy front cover. It's like I almost don't want to touch it. But yes, this is the Sinistari gold. I think it was 2019 pressing. Gold, kind of mustard colored yellow vinyl. This one does not include the G.G. Allen cover, which is a bummer. There's only 2 versions of the vinyl that have that. But lucky enough for me, I do have the CD as well. Of course I do. Basically just for I Kill Everything I Fuck. They do that cover so well. If you've never listened to it, please check that out, because I think that's really they're paying an ode to somebody I definitely respect. So yeah, if you like G.G. Allen, if you like his version of that song, I think you'd really appreciate that Graham Belial's gave it quite a good effort. And yeah, enough said, right? I mean, Judeo Beast, definitely an iconic record. I kind of think, I think if you picked just one from their collection, I don't know. That's pretty tough. I obviously love all of them, but I think Judeo Beast is the one that I would recommend you start with if you're unfamiliar with the band, if you've never listened to them. Also, I love how this art in particular portrays Judas washing his hands of the sin that he committed, betraying Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, which is equivalent to, $7,000 today, which is what APAC will pay you to speak highly of the land that need not be named. Next album, we have Kosher Rat. Boom. This one is probably the fan favorite, and I see why. Not my favorite. Um, I know, but definitely a great fucking album. It's really long, even without the two bonus tracks by Chaos 88 and fuck. I don't remember what it is, but there's two cover tracks that are bonus songs that are on the original vinyl pressing. And I think one of the newer releases by Sinistari. But yes, great album. Great fucking album. Songs like The Red Heifer and then The Bearded Hustlers, the intro. I mean, come on. I gotta say, out of all their albums, I think this one has the best song titles. I know Judeo Beast has like The Shitagog, The Tender-Hearted Manifesto, Doves of War, but on this album, I'm just gonna read you a few, okay? Sons of the Black Ram, On a Mule Rides the Swindler, which is also a standalone EP release with a live track recording of Tenderhearted Manifesto. Love to get that one day. And then you also have Vultures of Misfortune and the closing track, Kingdom of Poison Fruits. Fucking so good. So good. This is an album that, despite it not being my absolute favorite, I'm just really happy to have it at all because, again, eBay, you can't find these on Discogs. They're all blocked. So, you have to do a little bit of due diligence if you really want to get your hands on this music because this band is, yeah, they're struck with many different labels that make them a little hard for the tourist crowd to even find. That's why a lot of people, I think, who are into black metal probably aren't even familiar with Graham Belial's Key, which is strange because they've been around since 1992, quite a long time. But we've made it to the final release, which is definitely some of their best work. This one was a grower for me, and it's Cohanic Charmers, which I'll just hold up both. I have the CD and the vinyl. Pretty good. Don't really think either one of these is better than the other. I just bought both because I'm a collector. That's how that goes. But it's a little easier with the CD to show you the art. Very cool. Got the cube worship going on. I think they're making a mockery of it. Go figure. So the interesting thing about Cohanic Charmers was this was released in 2022, but the material itself was recorded in 2016. I was still a freshman in high school, to give you some reference for how young I am. Very good album. This is probably their most concise work to date. Other albums have moments that kind of, I don't want to say drag. I don't want to say drag, but they drag just a little bit. This is a short release. It's like 42 minutes or 44 minutes, but every song is very, very good. There's really no standout best track to me. I do think this one also has some great song titles, like Prayer Shawl of the Firstborn Donkey, uh, Fiscus Judicaeus, which, on second thought, that might be the best track. Um, Two Forks and a Muttering Diviner, and then Adrift in the Viscera of Sheol, which that one's an instrumental kind of interlude track, and Turbans Nailed to Their Heads, which is actually a song off Triumph of the Hordes. I wish I could recall. It's one of the songs off their early demos that they've reworked into a finalized track, and that's really cool. So definitely a good album to send off their career with. If this is truly the final release from Grand Belial's Key, then at least they went out in a blaze of glory, you know? Sweet. Got the whole thing in the shot. And this one is the orange vinyl, which I paid $10 for the CD. I paid 90 for the record, so that goes to show you, if you're just trying to have the music, go with the CD. 9 times out of 10, there is no sound difference. But this particular record looks fucking swank. I mean, yeah, that's pretty beautiful. I prefer, if it's gonna be colored, just make it a solid one color. The splatter, pinstripe, gay fucking pinwheel stuff, I don't like it. I mean, I really don't, because as I've said before, and I'll probably continue to say in the future, colored vinyl is not necessary in any way, shape, or form, but for limited pressings, for resale value, there is that. So I would never sell this fucking record. I think you're gonna have to pry it from my cold dead hands. So yeah, Grand Belial's Key, Cohanic Charmers. Show you the song titles one more time. And there's Moses. Very good band. I would recommend it to all metalheads. I don't really think this is a band that you could say that they suck, and I would actually take you seriously. In fact, if you said that they suck, like completely, all the songs I just talked about, all the releases, I don't really think you're into this shit. So, yeah, that's it. Be prepared for maybe some uploads this year. Fuck, it's already almost end of February. But yeah, that's everything. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll go full Argo Slant soon, or I don't know. Maybe I'll finally talk about this album or some fucking ass suck. It's about damn time, right? I think so.